Uh, uh, so, Ohayo gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa. My name is Doug Brunke. I'm the CEO of Global Chamber, and this is our Global Chamber Tokyo Meetup. It's a virtual conversation that we're having today, and we've got a number of people, including a couple folks that are new to Global Chamber through the Spencer Fane organization. I'd like to have them uh, talk a little bit about what they do and their connectivity to Japan. I know they have a limited amount of time, so I'm probably going to go to them early on. Um, uh, Daniel, it looks like you might be the main speaker for the group, or maybe also uh,
Namugi too, right?
Tomoyori is.
Namugi's on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
I was
guys have a
here.
do you have a few minutes where you could have our board chair say a few words about the market and then have you guys go next?
Um,
How much time do you
yes.
have? So,
That's fine with me, up to Namugi.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want to talk?
But no, I think we're just gonna wait until the board chair goes, and
Oh,
then
okay,
after
okay.
that, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
so
Yeah.
maybe
So,
what I would suggest then is, Kaoru, why don't you give a brief
Mhm.
intro, then we'll go back to Spencer Fane, and then we'll go maybe a little bit of a deeper dive because I know they had another meeting that they needed to go
Right.
to, but I thought it would be important for us to understand the firm, the work that they're doing, and also the kinds of clients that they have. Do you mind going first, Kaoru Nishinakagawa? She's our board chair for both Tokyo and Sydney. She's based in Sydney, but from Japan. She's got lots of connections on both sides. And one of the great things, as you'll be able to tell about Nishi Nakagawa-san, is that she's very knowledgeable about a lot of different industries, a lot of companies that are growing. She's got deep connections, and she loves golf. And she's actually built one of her businesses around golf and the golf between Japan and Australia. So, Kaoru, thank you for joining today. Great to see you. I hope all is well. Would you like to kick us off, please?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I think I met half of you already, so probably I just don't go into too much detail about my background. But I was born and raised in Japan and moved to Australia 15 years ago. So I have a really balanced experience in both countries, I have to say. Started my career in semiconductor and it changed my industry throughout my career. So now I'm in innovations in general. So I was in consulting, but also the media, large media organization in Australia helping the corporate innovate from inside as well. Currently, I manage innovation fund to accelerate research activities between the nations. So we provide a program to those researchers from both in Japan, Australia, work through in a climate, environment, mining, and a space industries, all sort of like a sphere. They just try to build something new to help both of the countries. So I do anything around innovation, particularly cross-border activities. Yes, I'm big on golf, but my golf is really not going well. So my work is helping me mentally, I have to say. Seriously, it's worse feeling. I'm going through swing change. If you play golf, you know what it means. It's a death word. But I got this scholarship for 6 months, so I need to change my swing to be single handicap. So obviously, so I need to go through this. So yes, work is helping me massively. It's much more rewarding, I have to say. So I live in Sydney, but obviously keep tracking about Japan whole time. I feel like the geopolitics, a lot happened over the last 2 months because we didn't have this session for 2 months. So particularly in Japan side, Japan finally changed the constitution to be able to sell and export the lethal weapons. So now Japan can now export finished lethal equipment, fighter jets, missiles, destroyer, whatever, to the 17 allied and partner countries, which is called the Defense Equipment Transfer Agreement. Australia is actually part of it. And then we already had a deal between Japan and Australia, $6.5 billion deal. Mitsubishi built frigate program for Royal Australian Navy. So Japan sold that frigate to the Australia. So initially it's all built in Japan, then moved to the Perth, particularly in Australia. So they're going to create a more job and actually the skill set in Australia. So transfer the knowledge and skill set to Australia in terms like this yeah, it's a world related topic. It's massive, and defense is becoming the bigger topic, particularly in Japan and Australia. Also, there's a Quad meeting last month, or this month actually, and just the foreign minister got together in India. So they've been talking about how can we collaboratively work together and combat potential risk in the regions. But probably I have to say the biggest news was Prime Minister Takaichi came to Canberra in Australia, met with the Australian Prime Minister to discuss how we can deepen our relationship and particularly work around defense, critical minerals, energy security, and emerging industry, which is really big topic because I've been doing these activities more than 10 years. We were always a big ally because we have a long-term relationship over 60 years, but it was all about a resource exporting, and or maybe just getting car from Japan, like a typical usual suspect only. But now I think the geopolitics pushed those countries to work together more deeper in different areas as well. Obviously, we are both US ally. That was the biggest common, just the base, the foundation, and built on top of it. I think our relationship is getting tighter, which is a good news for me. Yes, Japan's economy seems to be picking up, like just at least the wage growth is in the low 3% range is most encouraging things over the couple decades, I have to say. And interest rates finally picking up, not as high as here. Obviously, Australia has now got back to 4.35% to combating sticky inflation came back. So we are unwinding the easing cycle, which happened last year, which is really hard. But I think the overall, not in a crisis mode yet in both of the countries. And yeah, but at this stage, I feel, especially from outside a point of view about Japan, defense isn't definitely the one with the major things, but also the resource energy security is another big topic. And with that, any question or comment before finish will be great.
Any questions or thoughts for Kaoru? Anybody involved in any of those segments and can support?
So if you already know someone actually, sorry, do the research activities, innovations, who want to test their product in Australia, I'm happy to help, obviously, or just SMBs want to enter into Australian market, that probably something I can just help you with the most. Or just even come to Australia to play golf. The easiest one to help. Yes, I see the hands up. Mario.
Mark,
Yes. So Kaoru, thank you for that, first off. Yeah, in a previous life, I was a director of a relocation service and real estate company here in Tokyo. And
Mhm.
about 30% of my clients were in the defense
Mm,
industry. So it was very interesting to hear you mention, the change in the Constitution to
yeah.
allowing the export of military equipment. So I'm in a different career here now, but I do have a lot of those contacts,
Hmm.
especially I'm an American national who's been
Hmm.
in Japan for 20 years.
Wow.
So I do have quite a few contacts, and they might be a bit dusty, 4 or 5 years since I left that industry.
Hmm.
But if you ever need any help from the Japan side, I'd be more than happy to engage with you. And what I
Yeah.
do now is our company is called We Connect, and
Hmm.
we help companies that are entering the Japanese market incorporate, get bank accounts, offices, And then we do their back office, so their tax compliance, their accounting, their payroll.
Mm,
So if you know of any companies as well from Australia looking to
mhm.
also come into Japan, and lately we've seen quite a few, especially in the hospitality sector.
Oh,
Maybe we
okay.
can engage offline, and there
Yep.
might be a way for us to help send some people to you and backwards to us.
That would be interesting. Yeah, let's connect. That
Sure.
sounds interesting. Particularly now, it's more relevant, I have to say. It was
Yeah,
less than in the way in the past. Large Japanese organization always come to Australia to buy resources, and so they always here. But other way around hasn't happened that much yet. So, but it's definitely on the rise.
excellent. I'm not sure how much I can help you with golf. I just tore my Achilles playing pickleball in Malaysia
Oh
last week.
no.
So, yeah,
I'm
so,
telling you, all the orthopedic surgeons are having a field day with everyone
oh
playing
yeah.
pickleball.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I wish I
wow.
knew that. I'm on crutches now. I'm on crutches. I had surgery, but
Oh
anyway,
no.
nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That may be a sad entry point to Spencer Fane. Hopefully there's no lawyer involved with the Achilles pickleball incident. But Daniel and also Tomoyuri are with Spencer Fane recently, actually for all the 11 years of Global Chamber. Been a fellow named Mike Patterson who's been a member of Global Chamber, first with another law firm, and then when he joined Spencer Fane, it was early in the days of Spencer Fane in Phoenix, and subsequently the firm has grown tremendously. And Mike is an extraordinary leader, so they've been members ever since and been very strong members and a very great relationship. We've started to expand the relationship with Spencer Fane, and now Spencer Fane's become a visionary sponsor of Global Chamber, which means all either 33 or 34 offices. I've seen two different numbers are now part of Global Chamber, including their practice for Japan. And so would love to have both of you introduce yourself and explain a little bit more about what you're doing and also who you're looking for and what kinds of clients do you work with. Thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Tomoyuri. Who would like to go first?
I
Can I
could go
share my
first,
screen?
but oh, you're
Let
sharing
me
your.
share. I want to
Oh,
share.
you have the
Nomugi,
brochure?
I have your profile as well,
Okay.
so you
All
can
right,
speak
that's good.
on top of that too. Can you see my screen?
We can begin to see it. Yes.
All right. So this is Nomugi's
Oh, sure.
profile. It might not be as big as it should be, but and we'll
Very
send this around as well. Doug, I
Oh,
sent
that's
this to you
in
already.
Japanese too.
looks good.
Yes, so my name is Nomugi Tomoyori, and I'm the opposite of I think Mario, who said he's a US citizen living in Japan. I'm a Japanese citizen living in the US, Washington, D.C. area for over 25 years now. And we are Spencer Fame, but Daniel and I used to be at Global IP Counselors. That was much smaller IP boutique law firm in DC, and we just joined Spencer Fane in January. And then we met Mike Patterson last month, I think, in Texas. And then we started he told us about Global Chamber, and we told him we have a lot of Japanese clients, and we do a lot of Japan patent prosecutions for Japanese manufacturing companies. And then Mike told us about the Global Chamber, and we were very excited to join and expand our uh, explore the clients in Japan and also in Asian countries. Um, so we are mainly doing U.S. patent and trademark prosecutions, but we are also like being joined to Spencer Fane, we're expanding our area to like IP litigations and enforcement. What else? Counterfeiting. I think Daniel does a lot of different things too. So
Yeah.
if you wanna
Good.
join
Yeah,
in.
my name's Daniel Hong, and I worked with Namugi-san, and I'm not Japanese. I'm an American, born and raised in Korean heritage. But since I joined the firm, I've been working with the Japanese clients. So that was 11 years ago. And I've been to Japan many times. We go about twice a year, 3 times a year, minus the COVID years, a couple COVID years. And we do presentations about IP. So companies typically are like manufacturing companies. We also represent cool companies like fashionable companies like Essex, like the shoe company, and different. We help them with different innovation. So, Gary, when you said innovation, that's something that really resonates with us because the U.S. is a big market for a lot of companies, Australian ones as well as Japanese companies, and so we also help get trademark rights for them, brand rights, and as well as these invention rights, right? So we can help on both of those sides. Spencer Fane also has a couple, actually, at least somebody in the trade sector that can help in a former life. Mike Coons is another Mike. Doug, there's another Mike involved, and he's out in, I think, Salt Lake, and he was really involved before he became an attorney in the Japanese trade relations in Utah. So I believe, and so either I think Utah or Nebraska. The West is
Nebraska.
really big, so it confuses me. But yeah, so we just to give you kind of an idea of what we do when we go to Japan, we do these, we provide these presentations to Japanese companies that are interested in um, just learning about how the United States, the US intellectual property system works. And then we'll do other things like, provide trademark assistance for them. And yeah, so there's just a lot of different features that we can provide and help we can provide for Japanese companies that just might need a little support, either calling dibs on their brand or invention in the US market and just trying to preserve rights there before they, blow up in Australia or blow up in Japan. Um, and those are just things that we can help out with. We can also help out with a lot of different things with companies that have, a lot of Japanese companies do have US subsidiaries or US related affiliates. And we have a lot of experience. For example, my colleague Jeff Howell and I, when we were in Japan, he's the one that goes to Detroit and he'll go and interview inventors in Detroit for Nissan's technical center and then do work for Nissan's technical center, creating, drafting invention disclosures to create patent applications there. So there's a lot of work we already do for Japanese companies, and I think the Japan team is very. When you look at the brochure, if you have a chance to just take a look at the brochure, we do have a couple Ben Rishis in Japanese, like people fluent in Japanese, and this doesn't even include our staff, which we have about 5 Japanese nationals, now nationalized U.S. citizens, but born and raised Japan. Work as paralegals for us. So yeah.
Yes.
Are there particular market segments and types of size of companies or other ways to identify good clients for you?
Um, I I think, well, one thing we have to worry about the conflicts. So
Yeah.
mid-sized companies will probably be better because um, we'll probably have some conflicts with other like our bigger clients. And what Nakagawa-san was talking was pretty interesting because they just will be starting exporting the lethal weapons to other countries. Maybe there is a need for them to get patents in other countries too. And so maybe we can try to go for that. But
Yeah, in terms of defense stuff, I mean, the manufacturing experience is there. We have it. And so all of our scientific engineering expertise is mechanical, electrical, as well as chemical. So we have all three. And it's, I think, pretty helpful for us. If you, if there is a larger company that is looking to help, you want to reference us, that's fine. We'll go through the conflict and figure
yeah,
it out.
But
Um, but
Raymond
but we
Wiley in the audience has got deep semiconductor and manufacturing experience in Japan and in the US as well. Raymond, anybody come to mind for you, or do you have any questions?
No, I'm sorry, I was talking, but my mic was muted. What's the conflict? I guess I don't really
no,
understand why
so
there
Japanese
would be a
companies.
conflict.
Yeah, so I think what Namugi's referencing is if, like, for example, we represent Nissan, Yamaha, Shimano. So if there were another, for example, bicycle components or fishing reel, or typically it's an automobile conflict because sometimes automobile companies want to give us work, and then we say, well, no, Nissan won't allow that. That's a conflict. So sorry. So that's what she's meant referencing. We also represent Komatsu and Daikin, so HVAC work and construction work. It'll be like threading the needle, but not impossible. So, it's just something to keep in mind, but let's get to that problem. Let's get to that problem first. And
yes,
then we
but also at this point, Spencer Fane is, I believe, is not that popular. I mean, in Japan, we don't really have that reach to Asian countries or Japan. So I think we will try to first kind of make us more visible to all the Japanese companies. So we are hoping like people will know about Spencer Fane more in the coming years.
Yeah, and that's us trying to extend the brand when we go over there as well, on top of it, with this like fancy brochure and everything. So
Right.
So sounds good.
cool. Any questions about, like, look, I know not everybody in my mind everyone knows what IP is, but obviously not everybody knows. When we talk to people in Japan, it's IP legal departments. Their only focus is patents and trademarks. IP attorneys, so the law firms that's all they do. So it's a very specific niche when we talk to people there. But we have definitely done presentations in Japanese for the like layperson or business people that touch on IP and they just need a little bit of guidance. And so for a small to medium sized business, then yes, that's something that we can provide as a training, a value add for the customer to say, hey, I have to kind of think about this. And once they think about it, then if they have the budget to cover themselves and protect themselves, then they can help, then they can become a customer or client, or whatever.
But
Do you also assist in IP strategy, forming an IP strategy?
Yes.
Okay.
Alexandra has a question. Alexandra Scott, please go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. I was just curious. I don't have a ton of background in IPs, and so I was wondering, um, in terms of a Japanese company trying to work in America, I mean, what are maybe some common challenges that you find particularly around IPs for Japanese companies?
I think for Japanese companies, so for the trademark side, and Nomukin can speak on the patent side as well. the trademark side is something about you can call dibs on a trademark and before you actually start using. So you don't have to wait. People they're like, oh, we're going to launch on this date, and that's when we'll figure out what to do with our trademark. You can do that prior to getting the launch, right? And then like potentially you file for three or four things and you say, well, let's see which one of these things go. Let's put that in the project plan as you're going towards launch. You can just say, I love these three or four brand names and for launching. So let's just throw them all in there and see what happens during the examination process in the US. Obviously, before that, you can even do a clearance. But I think that's the one thing is you can get dibs on rights prior to launch. That's
Mm.
that's some and that's something you can do on the patent side too. But I don't know if Mugi wants to. You have any comments on that, Mugi? That you see?
Um, well, yes. So on the patent side, I think the problem they have sometimes is that the US patent system and Japanese patent system are similar but different. And
Totally different. Yeah.
there are a lot of like misconception about US system, and the Japanese company try to like use Japanese way of thinking to like get patent in US. It doesn't work. And also I think US legal fees are much much higher than what Japanese permission charges. So like those miscommunication will pile up and they'll get a big bill from US attorneys, and they're like, oh wow, it's like so expensive to get patent. But it doesn't have to be. If somebody can explain the Japanese clients, it's not like it's the good way to think, but it doesn't work in the US. And so there are a lot of costs that they didn't have to pay that they've been paying, I think,
Mm.
especially the smaller Japanese companies, because they tend to like not have the resources in their company to um, like educate the internal people. Bigger companies have a lot of IP staff, and they have like a training system, and they know a lot about US system. But I see like the smaller and mid-sized companies, they don't have that. Sometimes they have just one IP person doing all the foreign prosecution. So there, our farm or like our team, Japanese team, comes in, and we can really help them understand US system in Japanese. So
Yeah, and budget
yeah,
and
that's
budget for
been
that,
the
right?
strength.
Because
Yeah,
yeah, we've done that a lot. Where it's just like, hey, look, it's going to cost this much. You sure you want to do all that? Like, because could do like the 80/20 thing where you just kind of need this. And so that's the strategy that Raymond was talking about. We try and, look, we're not trying to get these huge costs from a filing. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to make a relationship. And then later, hopefully they trust us enough and say, hey, please handle our litigation, defend us or whatever. And that's something that's going to be helpful for us. And that's what we want. So
The other part about the strategy that I was more talking about or referring to was depending on the industry and depending on the product and the company, right? IP can be used as for offense or for defense, right?
mhm.
mm,
You can keep people out, or you can use it to negotiate to get your hands on somebody else's IP, right?
right.
Right.
So that's what I was talking about more when
Exactly.
I said the strategy piece of it. And if you are going to use it for defense, you need to make sure that you build or you have the rest of the portfolio to protect that main crown jewel, right? You can build a
Mhm.
fence around it with some other stuff so that nobody can reverse engineer your product and do some things. And that's where the know-how comes in. And that's even more valuable sometimes than the IP is the know-how, right?
Right,
Right. And
right,
that's the company way. I mean, that's typical way here is you got to file. If you think about how a manufacturing place is set up, it's consistently and constantly innovating. So typical engineers or typical legal departments, they have to file a certain number of patents. So that means that they got to figure out what's innovation in like every 3 months. We used to work, this is not a Japanese company, but like EMC, for example, like the hard drive company. I remember talking to the general counsel or the IP counsel, and he's like, yeah, I with my team, his like three other attorneys, each of them had to write three patent applications every quarter. And so that's like one a month, right? So one a month, that's four people writing one a month, four applications a month.
Full-time job.
Just keep, it's a full time, it is a full time, it's their job.
Yeah.
They're just like, go figure it out. Go find out what these engineers are doing, because sometimes they can't get out of their heads and say, well, this is innovation. Because to them, similar to how IP is like what we eat and sleep, eat, sleep, and breathe every day, that's the engineers are also thinking, oh yeah, this is just nothing. It's not nothing. Like you got to think about it as, to the layperson, is this something that's innovative?
Mm.
Well, and again, that's where the know-how is sometimes more valuable than IP, right? Because somebody can reverse engineer it. Like you know how to make a cake, but your oven may not be the same as my oven. And I can, I know that I put the pan in the back, it's going to cook faster, put it in the
Mhm.
middle, it'll cook evenly. So that's the know-how part of it.
It's
And
those little
that doesn't go
incremental,
into
it's
the
the
IP
incremental
thing.
innovations that you capture. So,
Right. Yeah. And
One
that's the
quick
know-how.
question that might bridge to the other part of what we wanted to talk about today from Sean and Alexandra in terms of the chapter activities is, do you do any events either in Tokyo or in Japan? Are you focused in on mainly Tokyo? Are there other parts of Japan where you have clients and you have activity? What do you do in Tokyo? And one of the things that is an opportunity. Mario Long with We Connect. They have a brand new office. Is it in Shibuya? I think Mario,
yes.
and
Yes. Yes,
you've
it's
been
in
doing some
Shibuya.
events there, and that's an opportunity to do something. Is that of potential interest, Daniel and
That'll be
Tomoyuki?
great. I mean, as long as it's in November or uh, before May. So yeah, perfect.
You got a problem with August or July?
Okay.
We have air conditioning in the office.
No, look,
Yeah,
I'm telling
yeah, but
you,
you don't have air conditioning on the train, on the
it's
subway.
just like, you walk outside and I'm like, oh, I kind of now I need a shower like right now. So it's cool.
Nomugi-san, how often do you travel to Japan, and where do you go?
Once or twice a year for work, and I'm going back in the summer, late July, like that's with my family, but that's just for vacation. And we went back last summer, and it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I was really worried about the Japanese summer, but it wasn't too bad. But anyway, so I usually go to Tokyo, and my clients are all over Japan, so I usually have to go to Nagano, and I have another client in Shikoku, that's Tokushima, and some in Osaka,
Wow.
and Shiga. So yes, I go all over. Not many e like Hokkaido or Tohoku area, but a lot in Tokyo and the West.
Yeah.
I have another question. What's the mix of your business between clients, when I say business, sorry, between hardware, actual tangible stuff I can touch versus software, like writing an algorithm and having an AI company or something like that? Is there
The Japanese
a mix
companies are
or
mostly going to be manufacturing, so hard goods but it's really hard right now to stay away from any type of software
it's
application
changing? Yeah, it's changing
related
very
to
much.
that as well, because what it'll be is like a linked, um, like a software or firmware linked portion of a, you know, crane or, or a refrigerator or a HVAC unit, right? So those pieces will have that kind of software piece, which is the 101. That presentation I showed previously, that deals with those types of rejections for software or for methods and systems. In the US, we have a couple software clients that we support with those types of applications.
Yeah, because a lot of that law is being written right now as we speak. It's evolving so quickly.
Right. And
It's
then
really difficult.
the AI assisted training method portions, those have been going for at least, a few years
Mm.
and have been debated, especially in the US, you also have to think about the current administration and how they treat applications and how they examine applications from the top down
Right.
as well. So in there right now, it's a little bit easier to get applications through at this point for those types of software applications. That's just general rule right now.
So that that sounds good. And by the way, Mario, I didn't mean to commit you to something, but I know Matt Kyle. Uh, Mario works at a company with another American, Matt Kyle, who played for the Knicks. I'm 6'4", and so when I lived in Tokyo, I felt like like a monster. Yamanote line, I'd have to duck to get into the train
Oh my
car.
God.
That's 6'4". Matt is 7 feet tall, and so
Oh, wow.
he stands out in Tokyo. So
Everywhere. Stands
when
out
you're
everywhere,
walking
right? But
around
yeah, in
town,
Tokyo for
Mario,
sure.
with Matt, how is that? You probably
Yeah,
get a few
it's
gawkers.
yeah, it's interesting because he gets the exact same reaction every single time he meets anyone here. And I think he graciously kind of he humors people whenever they ask him how tall he is or
Mm.
but yeah, one thing I could say though is about the space. We just held an event last night for a recruitment company here. We hold an event maybe once or twice a month at our space, which could comfortably fit about 80 people. And we have full facilities for things like keynote power presentations and things like that. And we normally hire a catering company to provide service for food and drinks. So as long as we know well in advance of when you'd like to do something, and obviously if it makes sense, from a potential networking or client pool perspective, we'd be more than happy to kind of talk to anyone that's looking to collaborate on an event here. Right now, event space is in demand in Japan, as you can imagine. There's so many conferences, so many different events that are happening. So we work closely with the American Chamber of Commerce here, other local Chamber of Commerce groups as well. We collaborate with them to host events, and we're the official partner of the Japan Financial Service Agency, the FSA. So we just hosted an event with the FSA earlier this month as well. So if anyone is interested, that's weconnect.co, I think, or just message me directly and I can send you some photos.
Awesome.
That's great. Well, does anybody have any final questions and maybe what we can ask both Daniel and Tomoyori if you'd like to make any closing comments? What would you like to leave us with, Daniel and Tomoyori?
Go ahead, Daniel.
Excited to work with you guys and looking forward to expanding just our trips. I mean, we go twice a year, at least I do, and just to talk to clients, but this would be a great way for us to expand our reach and um, yeah, I'm looking forward to trying to connect with everyone here and yeah, and we're definitely open to questions about IP. It's fun to talk about for nerds like me, and so
There might
Yes.
be a way that if we coordinate this, like aligning your schedules together, and maybe we do something that somehow links to our semiconductor summit, which it's coming up to the sixth annual one next year. That was supported from the very beginning by the Japanese government to encourage Japanese companies not only to be integrated into the U.S. semiconductor community, but also jump over California to some degree and come to Arizona. And so that's that part, along with, by the way, on the defense side, which Kaoru mentioned earlier, um, they keep coming to Arizona and visiting every February when we do our semiconductor summit. Last year was the first year they went to Tucson specifically for defense-oriented connections on the contractor side. And I think Raymond, you're familiar with some of that as well. So there are many opportunities on our side that we may be able to come up with a good excuse for an event that in Tokyo that ties into all that and has value for everybody.
When
So
is the
thank
Sounds
semiconductor event typically?
It's usually February because it's tied into the second largest Japanese festival in the US is in Phoenix. And so the Matsuri is in February. And so that's Saturday, Sunday, usually around the third week of February. And we'll do it right before that, either the Thursday or Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday before the Matsuri.
Yeah, you might want to check because they've been moving it back. I think it was like the week of, believe it or not, St. Patrick's Day. Like it was back that far into March.
Oh,
So you might
whoa.
want to check the calendar to see. Um,
So sounds good.
yeah,
Thank
it might have slid back for it, but
Nomugi-san, anything that you'd
Yes.
like to leave us with? Any words of wisdom?
Yes. I'm looking forward to connect with everyone. And I was wondering, so everyone is in Japan except for Nakagawa-san and Doug, or like if
I'm in
we go
Arizona.
to,
I'm
oh,
in Arizona.
you're in Arizona.
Yeah, but
And
that's a fake background, so it's not real at the moment.
and
It's from Japan, but I'm
Alexander-san,
not there at the moment.
are you in Hiroshima?
That's
No.
where that picture was taken
Also a
from.
fake background. But
Yeah.
actually so right now I'm living in Yokohama because
Oh,
I've been
okay.
a 10-month long language student, but in August I was fortunate to land a position with the Kita-Kyushu City Hall through the JET program. So I'm gonna be moving to Kita-Kyushu at the start of August.
Oh wow, it's a
Wow.
big move.
It is a big move. Yeah. And then I have to go back to the States beforehand to change my visa. So it'll be a little bit of like a hop back to the States for 2 weeks, change the visa, move to come back to Tokyo to pick up my stuff and do an orientation and then head over to Kita Kyushu. So it'll be a fun little adventure.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering if you're in, it looks like Hiroshima background. So.
I wish I
Arita-san
was in.
is in
That's
Tokyo. That is Tokyo Tower, and you are in Tokyo.
Yes, yes, yes.
Arita-san, where
Yeah.
where where in Tokyo?
I am in Tokyo.
Okay.
yeah,
All right. So
that's that is Miyajima. So when you said Hiroshima, I thought you were talking to me, but you were talking to Alexandra. I'm
Okay.
sorry. That's Miyajima Island behind me. That's what I thought you were saying. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, Raymond is married to someone from Hiroshima, and you lived there for quite a number of years, didn't you?
Not in Hiroshima in Tokyo. Yeah.
Oh, in Tokyo. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. And Mario lives in Tokyo as well, and so does Yonabayashi, who's here. So welcome and thank you.
yes. So as I mentioned earlier, one of our strengths is like explaining U.S. patent or IP systems to Japanese people in Japanese, and so I would like to have some opportunity to have some seminars or something, and that new venue in Shibuya sounds very interesting because
Mm.
we don't really have any office in Japan, I believe, right? Spencer
No,
Fane.
no, Spencer
So
Fane does not have any offices in Japan. What we've done is try and partner with Japanese law firms that we work with to do online Zooms and things like that. But
right, right.
yeah.
So it would be really great to have that kind of, if we can use that kind of space to gather people. Yeah.
Do you have your work out of an office? Is it in DC?
Oh, yes, I'm in DC and Daniel's in Chicago.
Okay,
Most of our team, Japanese speaking professionals are in DC.
okay. We have a big event for Global Chamber the week of September 21st. So it's on PBS, it's at PBS.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's a big announcement about Global Chamber. And so we'll definitely coordinate with you regarding that. So if you'll be in DC the week of the September 21st, we should be
Yes.
able to do something with you.
Okay, that sounds great. Yes, I'll be here.
Awesome. And I'm always in DC. Like a
Mm.
bunch. I
Daniel
can just jump
comes to DC like every month or yeah,
in. Yeah.
I see him pretty often. So.
Even though my office is now a visiting attorney's office, it's cool.
Very good. We like to finish up on time, so we really only have about 5 minutes left. And Sean Arita has not spoken yet, but you know, You always have words of wisdom, and I know you've been speaking with Alexandra as well. Can everybody hang on for another 5 minutes, and then we'll close
Okay.
up? How are you, Sean?
Oh, fine, thank you. And fortunately, I did have a good opportunity to talk with Alexander in person the last weekend, and it's always very nice to see somebody in person. So I really would like to support any gathering opportunity in Tokyo somewhere, sometime soon for gathering in person. That is a really wonderful opportunity. And the one of the reasons why I've been so quiet was the territory or business I've been supporting is a little bit far from semiconductor. The When you talk about 17 strategic sector by Takaichi, I am supporting the sectors except for 17s and the one for the like typical Japanese SMEs. Like more than 99% of the companies here in Japan are SMEs. So that I've been supporting like a traditional manufacturing process or, the like all long-lasting companies kind of like declining so that I'm supporting to actually give them another leverage through some new business opportunities elsewhere. So that maybe that's going to be different kind of discussions, but all the information you guys were talking was always really nutritious because new entry to the US always refer to patent and so on. So that it's like an informative meeting for me. So I was really dictating what you guys are talking. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Kaoru Nishinakagawa, would you like to make some closing comments?
Sure. No, it was really interesting to hear. I was in semiconductor industry as my, beginning of my career, and that's really helping me throughout because still innovation. Now I do more science, technology, just across broad sectors. But I think there's always opportunity, especially everyone wants to go to US in the later stage or early stage, particularly from Australia. Same language, and the US and Australia got a really strong tie. So a lot of people can get a visa easily to work in the US as well. So most of the startup decide to go to US after Series A funding. Mostly like they try to raise Series B in the US if that's a good company. So there might be the easier segue. However, as you can imagine, Australia have a much smaller population. So it's a less chance for those to come out. But I think that Japan has more opportunity because more bigger, smaller companies, but they want to usually work with Japanese companies, as you know. And although these Japanese companies might not help them, like you mentioned, so they don't understand fully about US, law. But that could be probably the hurdle. But now you have a Japanese speaking partners and staff members, so that was strength. Just need to let people know you are there to help them without charging crazy amount of money. That's another thing because that's the balance that you have to strike. But I think that you have a good strength to tackle both of the market. Yeah, I'm here to help in any way. So yeah, let me know. And I love the idea, Doug, to host more targeted event. I just don't think just networking events is fun, but I don't want to do it just for the sake of meeting with nothing might not come out. Just like always like to have some kind of target. What's the outcome? We try to achieve, we might not get there, but it's good to have. So I like the semiconductor defense, there's some kind of angle which is have a strong tie to Japan. And it's easier to invite people to those events. I'm running an event at JETRO office in Tokyo in end of July, the scary time. But I think that's also another reason because they have a bigger network in the community to reach out. Because if that's beneficial for Japanese government, they're happy to help. But at the same time, I'd love to visit the new nice office in Shibuya. Mario works. So yeah, we can pick and choose where we can host the event. But I think that's yeah, I'm very definitely keen to discuss more deeply about the targeted event. So it was a great conversation.
I think if we target something for third or fourth quarter, probably fourth quarter, and kind of make sure that we kind of coordinate travel and get folks involved. Brian Swords of Southern California worked for the consulate in Japan, has a number of companies that he's helping, and he's now coming over once a quarter, getting him involved as well. And as you mentioned, Jetro. So let's talk about that the next time and start to plan that. Thank you, Karu. Does anybody else have any before we close off?
Actually, sorry, Doug. I just had a quick question more so about whether or not we have like a LinkedIn group or a sort of yeah, I guess like a group for the Global Chamber Japan chapters at this
We
stage.
we have three. So we have a Global Chamber Japan, we have Global Chamber Tokyo, and we have Global Chamber Osaka.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I just wanted to volunteer myself for trying to support expanding some of those LinkedIn groups because I know with Arita-san and
Yeah,
Yonabayashi-san
yeah.
were about trying to, yeah, just really try and
Yeah.
grow the chapter and
Please
support.
share the URL for that.
Hmm.
Well, let's coordinate on that. I tried to link you to those on LinkedIn the last few
Okay.
days, and so if you can either search them directly or we'll just email back and forth. I'll send you the links. That's probably the easiest.
Right.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining today.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
everyone.
much.
Nice to meet
Thank
you. And
you.
Nice meeting you.
Mario, I hope the Knicks pull it off.
Well, I'm from Detroit, so they beat the Pistons. Or the Cavs beat the Pistons.
The
So
Cavs beat the Pistons, right? I mean, the
yeah.
Pistons, I don't know what they were doing, but I'm a big Bulls fan, obviously, so a little different.
Well,
But
let's definitely talk offline then. Nice to meet you all. Thank you. Awesome.